The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Hello, Lobo fans, and welcome into another edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. Coach G, it was homecoming for UNLV. Not the result that you wanted, I know, and this is a game that your team desperately wanted. You said afterward, the locker room, it was pretty rough in there.
It was very similar to UTEP. I think it was a game that our guys expected to win, and we didn't perform well enough. You can't turn the ball over like that. Right now, we're kind of a football team of what ifs. There's numerous plays out there that if we make the play, we win the game, and you can't do that.
A couple guys got hurt in this game, and Lobo fans are concerned about them, and I know Trey Hall looked pretty serious with his ankle.
Trey Hall will be out for the season. He had surgery this morning. Give him a lot of credit. The young man tried to get off, and he had a broken ankle. It's too bad. He made a great play. He broke a tackle. He got down towards the end zone. He was starting to feel comfortable in that role, and that happened. It's too bad.
Transition from quarterback to receiver and nearly got a touchdown on that play. And then Isaiah Chavez went out a couple of times in the game.
He did. Hurt his ankle on the first turnover, came back, and on the very next play gets rocked pretty good on a helmet-to-helmet hit. They cleared him from concussion protocol. He did not have a concussion. He just couldn't put a lot of pressure off his foot. So he wasn't able to go back in and compete, so we rolled with C.J. Montez.
So we tape on a Monday. Do you think there's a chance that Isaiah might be able to practice this week?
Oh, I think so. I think he'll practice tomorrow. He was in the treatment room 3 different times today, stopped by the office a couple times. He's not in the boot anymore, which he was on the sideline Saturday. So I'm very optimistic that he'll be able to practice tomorrow. Another
bit of news Lobo fans are waiting to hear is that Terry Wilson is back on the practice field. Is there any chance that might happen this week?
Yet to be determined. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so the quarterback situation is still a little bit up in the air for the Lobos coming out of the loss to UNLV. You mentioned the turnover issues, and I think back to the week prior. You guys win the turnover battle, you win the game against Wyoming. The 2 games surrounding that game, you don't, and you lose. It's just a huge piece of it, isn't it?
Oh, it's significant. You can't turn the ball over and win games, especially when we're so low scoring on what we do on offense. The momentum shifted from when we fumble the ball on the 4-yard line. 90% of the time they're going to score. We'd been okay on defense in sudden change so far to that point. I think we'd given up 13 points on 12 turnovers. We gave up 17 on 3 Saturday. Ain't good enough.
Remember another thing you mentioned leading into the game, you said third down efficiency was going to be so huge, and they did that better.
50%. You're not going to win many games when they convert 50% of their third downs. 8 of 16 is way too many.
You can overcome it maybe if you do better on your end, but the Lobos weren't efficient enough there.
We weren't. And when you turn the ball over and you're not good on third down, it's disaster.
All right. We come back on the other side. We check out first half highlights of the Lobos and the Rebels on Homecoming. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Welcome back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzalez. I'm Robert Portnoy. It's time for first half highlights of the Lobos and the Rebels at University Stadium.
I thought we got off to a really good start. The very first play of the game, Isaiah pops it for a 20-plus yard gain. Did a nice job on the power read. There's Trey. You'll see him on his long run here shortly. But I thought he did a nice job, and the guys up front did a good job blocking.
I love the way he let it develop, made his read, then picked his hole. And you guys had a bunch of big runs in this first drive, Coach.
Between Aaron and Bobby and Isaiah and Trey, we were really doing some good things, and the guys up front were identifying the right guys. Obviously, we executed better in the first half than we did the second half, and it started with the first drive.
Got to say, I love the old cartoon wolf on the side of the helmets, Coach. Awesome look.
It was a good deal for homecoming. I wish we'd have had a different result and we could have celebrated a little bit more. Here's a good job by Isaiah. He got out to the perimeter. He could have pitched it. He tucked it up, and we convert on a first down.
He really does operate the zone read and then the final piece of the triple option really well, doesn't he?
He does. And here's Trey Hall. Broke a tackle. His leg got sandwiched underneath the defender trying to tackle him. And the toughness that we talk about on our team, we don't want to get carried off the field. We want to fight our way to the sideline. And the young man with a broken ankle showed some pride to get himself off. It was pretty bad.
And then here, Trey Spruckler comes free. Easy touchdown.
Great drive, 91 yards. We took about 6 minutes off the clock. That was an outstanding start from our offense.
Hit the roadmap perfectly, right? That's exactly the way you drew it up.
It's exactly what we want to do. And then on defense, we come out, we get a 3 and out. Tony Collier makes a great play right there. We have good field position. I mean, here was a second down and long after a first down tackle for loss, and Luke Weisland does a great job. Kind of nicked up his shoulder right there, but it's something he's dealt with all year, and he's one of the tougher kids on our team, so it hasn't affected him.
Here you get it pitched on the edge as well, and Aaron Dumas continues to be, I think, a very impressive true freshman, nearly his first 100-yard game.
And I think that one right there was a 3rd and 5. He needs to convert that. He could have cut it up a little bit sooner. I thought we got marked a little bit short on his spot. I thought Isaiah made it from our side where we were on the sideline. We got to get better push, though, if we're going to quarterback sneak with a little over a yard to go.
Yeah, if it's the head linesman making that spot, I think you guys do get it. But it's the linesman on the other side of the field that came in and put the ball down.
It was. Now we get a 3 and out right here and have to punt the ball. And then we try to drop back on 3rd down, and Isaiah got the ball knocked out of his hand. And this is where Isaiah got his ankle rolled up here, and you'll see it from the back end. It's pretty good right there. I mean, that hurts right there. I mean, and it kept him from getting the football. And you give them the ball on the 4-yard line, most of the time they're going to score. And unfortunately, it didn't take them very many plays.
Now, you did say, though, it's not a high ankle sprain, which obviously that's tougher to come back from, right?
It is a lot tougher to come back from, and he'll live in the treatment room for the next few days. Here was the very next play, and he cut up inside, and one of our guys didn't identify the right guy and smacked Isaiah in the head. He fumbled the ball, and we got to go out there on defense and get off the field, hold him to a field goal. Instead, they were able to convert that to a touchdown. And he got a pretty good lick right there. I mean, it was helmet to helmet, not intentional. I don't mind that rule. I mean, he was not trying to target Isaiah, so that's just football.
And very fortunate, because it's scary. Right? Isaiah came out of camp with a head issue, and so the fact that there's no issue there is huge.
Huge, and they cleared him during the game. There's a great play by Corey Hightower.
How about the hops, coach?
Yeah, it was good. That's a good play. It was great if he'd have caught it. We got out of the field. I mean, he's really close.
Oh, so close.
We got to turn those into great plays. And then this one right here, I mean, you never lose a game because of a referee, but I didn't agree with this call. I didn't think we were offsides, and their wide receiver jumped before the snap. So that was an opportunity for us to get out the field. They gave them another down, and on the subsequent down, here's the touchdown.
I think that there were 2 huge offside penalties. Leatele and Hannah, both of them, they negated negative plays where you guys had a sack.
We did, and they were 3rd down stops too. I mean, this was a great job by the offensive line. And then Bobby Cole broke free. We get a 75-yard touchdown run. I thought we had taken the momentum back. It was 14-14. Now we can't give up a 1-play touchdown like we do coming up here on defense.
Got to say this, Coach. Bobby Cole is a bruiser, and he breaks free, and you think, okay, does he have enough to get to the house? He had more than enough. Better speed than you think by looking at him. He ran away from him.
He sure did. They had angles on him, and they couldn't get him. Here's the next play. I mean, we got a double move on the outside right there, and Corey Hightower got beat and wasn't able to catch up, and it's a 75-yard touchdown, and now they've got the momentum right back at 21-14.
So how should he play that? It's the stutter and go. We saw it on the highlight. He needs to get out of his back pedal and get turned quicker.
Well, we're playing straight man coverage. We don't have any free safety help, so he's got to be able to collision the guy and slow him down so that he can turn and run with him. And he didn't. He bit on it, and that's what cost us.
So he didn't get into him and get hands on him early, and then it was over.
Correct.
Okay. So CJ Montez is now at quarterback, and what about the way that he operated the option? There were a few good runs for him here in the first half.
There were a few good runs. He did some nice things. We get a long run right here by Aaron in a minute. There were some missed reads down there when we get in the first and goal from the 8. We had an opportunity to touchdown on the 2nd down, but we don't pull the ball and pitch it. That one right here, this pass, we've got 2 guys that are wide open. He kind of took the wrong read. So those are just true freshman mistakes.
Nice job here, getting it upfield. And as we talked about there, he's able to convert a first down. And then another big run here for Aaron Dumas.
I was hoping Aaron Dumas would take this all the way to the house. They got him down there, started at the 6-yard line. We get first and goal from the 6. Normally, I feel really confident about us getting the ball in. We tried a trick play on 3rd down. They didn't buy it. They covered the quarterback, so Andrew tried to do the best of it, and they did a good job of recognizing the play and got a stop, so we had to call on Andrew Shelley to come in and kick field goal.
So you take the field goal, you pull within 20-17, you wrestle back some of the momentum that you'd lost off the 75-yard touchdown bomb, and you feel like you're right in the football game right now.
We were. I mean, it's a 4-point game. We were long drives. We were keeping them from having success on offense. They had the 1-play drive. This was their lone penalty on the night, and the penalty was actually Jarek Reed and the guy were buddies, and the guy was trying to help him up, and they thought he was pulling on Jarek Reed's jersey, and so they threw a penalty on him. I mean, those things they got to listen to the banter going on because it was kind of back and forth, but that's okay. That was the only penalty they called on them all night. There was a nice counter third down. We're one shoestring away tackle from making a big-time play right there on the quarterback counter.
There were a couple of runs like that in this game where if not for one ankle tackle, it could have been a house call.
There are, and sooner or later we'll get strong enough in the weight room that we'll break those, and that's all part of the development of the program.
So you go in at the end of the first half, you're only down by 4. What was the message to the team?
Oh, I told you guys all week long this was going to be a 4-quarter game. If you watched all the games that UNLV had played, they were in every game till the very end. So it's a dogfight just like we thought it was. Can't give up big plays, got to stop turning the ball over. And if we do that, we'll be just fine in the second half.
From a game plan standpoint, you had run it for 250 yards in the first half. You have now your true freshman quarterback is back running the show, CJ Montez. What was the thinking going into the next 30 minutes?
Continue what we're doing. We've got to be able to stay in the game on defense. We can't give up points because if we get down by 2 scores, we're not that kind of offense. I mean, we're not going to, especially as time runs out, we can't drop back pass successfully. We've shown that. So we've got to be able to stay within 10 points to keep the game close. If we can do that, we'll have a chance.
All right, it's 21-17 UNLV. At the break, we come back with second half highlights next. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Welcome back into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzalez. It's time for second half highlights of the Lobos and UNLV Rebels on homecoming.
You know, we had to come out and get a stop on defense. They converted a first down, but then you're going to see Ronald Wilson here make a great play on a ball that the quarterback was trying to throw away. I mean, it was, right here it is, a huge play. Tried to throw it away. Ronald makes a great toe tap interception. So I thought we had stolen the momentum back. And then, I don't know if we'll see it here on the replay. I mean, what a great job getting his feet in.
Just amazing. He completes the catch, full control, all the way to the ground, toe tap. That's good on Sundays, Coach.
It is. Ronald Wilson's becoming a great player. Right here, I mean, unfortunately, Kyle Jarvis at tight end misses his block right there. They beat him on the edge. But we had 2 guys wide open. Either one of them are going to score a touchdown. I mean, those are the what-if moments that we've got to get rid of, and then we turn the ball over on the very next play. So instead of it being a touchdown for the Lobos, UNLV's got the ball first down on the 35 going in.
And this is the 3rd turnover of the game for New Mexico, and each of the 3 turnovers result in points.
They did. I mean, this one we're able to hold them to a field goal to keep it to a 10-point game. But we've got to, I mean, a touchdown game, but we've got to do a better job of securing the ball. And then if we get an opportunity on defense, we got to get off the field or take the ball away.
You know, it's for another time, but I'm not sure the ball is actually out of CJ's arm until his arm hits the player's leg, and I think he might already be down, but that's for another day.
It is. I mean, that's the exact stuff I'm talking about, what-if football.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we're playing right now, and we've got to do better than that.
And here's one of those what-if moments. You get this sack, but then it ends up being an offside.
It does, and I didn't see either one of these offsides down there on the field, and you can't tell from the angle of the camera on game day, so they're doing their best. I mean, they don't always make the right call, but they're not trying to mess anybody up.
Jarek Reed fighting in coverage right there. You guys get the stop and force the field goal attempt.
It did. It kept it to a 1-score game, which gives us an opportunity to stay in the game. Here's Trace Bruckner with a great catch. I mean, he almost loses balance, keeps it. And then we're going to see right here, we've got to do a better job right there. If he pulls that ball, there's an opportunity to get that thing to the perimeter. We just got to make those reads correctly all the time. Right here, it's a good job by Vegas running pursuit inside out to the boundary, and they stopped Aaron short.
The pitch relationship, they were very close together on that one.
It's a work in progress. I mean, we've been doing this stuff for 2 weeks now, so there's a lot of getting that stuff worked out. It happens a lot faster on game day than it does in practice. So them getting used to the reads. I thought Isaiah was doing a good job. CJ was doing a good job, but there was a few that he missed that could have been some big opportunities.
You know, they end up with 300 yards of total offense. It doesn't feel like that to me at all as you watch this game. Like, it's another game where your defense plays well enough and you're in the football game, you've got a chance to win.
Sudden change was the biggest thing. When we turned the ball over, we didn't keep them out of the end zone, and they were able to convert on points.
And we talked about this in our pregame, Coach. Missed opportunities. There was a chance to hit a throw with a guy open. You just missed it.
We did. What if football? I mean, if we can make this play, we can make that play. We have them open. The execution is there. We're just 50% on it. We're not making the throw, or the guy's dropping the ball. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff is working. We've just got to finish executing it.
I'll also say this. They have a very prolific run game, and one of the best tailbacks, you know, in this part of the country, and you guys pretty much contained the chuck wagon. Charles Williams, I mean, he's a great player, but he just had a mediocre day.
He did. He had an okay day. I mean, we were able to stop them from running the football, which was always a thing we take pride in. Right here, when a receiver's juggling the ball and they're having to review it, the DB's got to get the ball out. And I thought this was a huge play in the game. This made it from being a one-score game to a two-score game. And with 11 minutes to go, if we do our normal offense, we're going to take up a lot of time, and it causes a lot of problems. So we're trying to throw the ball now, and that's the recipe for disaster with what we do right now.
Correct me. That was a third down play, that conversion with that long throw to the goal line area, and that's a 50-50 ball. You've talked so much about those 50-50 balls and how crucial they are.
We made the plays against Wyoming. We did not make them on Saturday night. And third down, that's the exact same play we made that I talked about Pat Peake last week. Third down, decisive play, and they
Punch
made
and
it
rip,
this week.
and he pulls it out.
It's right, and that's why they won this week. They made those plays.
You talked about some players that, I think really showed up in this game. Tony Collier is one of them. He had a corner fire blitz that resulted in a sack. He made a great play on a third down stop early in the game, and he's been called to duty because of an injury to Dante Martin.
He has, and he stepped up, and he's doing an adequate job at his position. There's plays being out there all over the field. I mean, we need to improve in the secondary. We need to improve up front on offense, and those are the things right now that are killing us. This one right here, oh my gosh, if I'm Coach Royal, I want to just strangle that young man. I mean, let the ball bounce. It's going to be our ball anyway. We're not worried about field position. It's more about having the ball and taking time off the clock. This gave us an opportunity to stay in the game. We just couldn't capitalize.
I double-checked, Coach. Your playing careers in the WAC overlapped by one season. Your final season with the Lobos was Coach Arroyo's first as a quarterback for San Jose State. You guys have known each other a long time.
Oh, I have known him for a long time, and I was a GA on the team that went up there, and they beat us. Coach Arroyo has been all over the place. We've stayed in contact. We crossed paths on the recruiting trail. And then we got to compete against each other when I was at Arizona State and he was at Oregon, and had a couple really good battles. So we'll have a couple battles for many years ahead.
I thought about this too, Coach. You and your team were in this position last season, and you ended a 14-game losing streak of your own, and there was a great celebration. And you never want to be the team that the other team does something like that against. But it is a moment for UNLV that's important in their program, because they did exactly the same thing. They ended a 14-game streak.
They did. They dumped water, Gatorade, all that stuff on him. And much like I was with Coach Bowl last year, a little embarrassed, Coach Royal came over. He goes, "So, Coach, I'm sorry." I said, "Man, I've been there. Don't worry about it. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way. And obviously, we've got to get a lot better too."
Positives from this one. They're always positives. You guys have had a chance to look at the tape now. What are the things you like the most?
We executed well in the first half. I mean, we rushed for 260 yards. That's one of our best outputs on the year. We've got to do that for two halves. I mean, you do that for two halves, you're going 500 yards rushing. That'd be unbelievable. We've got to execute. We can't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over, we'll have a chance. If we turn the ball over, it makes it almost impossible for us to win.
And get some guys healthy at the quarterback position, right?
No, that's always the case. But the worst part is what we're doing with the triple option stuff. That's not where they're getting hurt. It's the drop back where we can't protect them.
Okay. We take time out. We come back on the other side. We wrap up your Lobo Coaches Show. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show with Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at UNM. I'm Robert Portnoy. And Coach G, it's a trip to Fresno now, a team that you beat in Vegas last year and scored a bunch of points against. Yeah, they're coming off a tough one, but you know they're going to be ready for you.
Well, they'll definitely be ready. I mean, they did have a tough one against Boise State this week. We haven't beaten them in Fresno since 1994, my true freshman year. So another door to knock down. They'll be ready for us. If we execute, we'll have a chance. If we don't, we won't. So it's pretty simple.
It had been quite a while since you'd beaten them, period, when you beat them on a neutral field at Sam Boyd last year in Las Vegas. And QB5, Isaiah Chavez, took you to your second straight win to end the year. Things got off to a great start when he took over the quarterback position this season. Now he's fighting through an ankle sprain, and you guys are kind of wondering about, okay, what's the identity going to look like week to week offensively? What do you think it will look like?
Well, I think we were able to execute in the first half with Isaiah in there. That'll be the path we go down. If he's healthy, obviously he'll be a lot better at it. If he's not, then we'll have to adapt and adjust and then use other guys if we have to.
They have a quarterback, Fresno State, and Jake Haener, who's one of the best in the country. How do you try to contain him a little bit?
Well, we got to mix up what we do up front as well as the coverages because he's really, really good. He's a great thrower. He's a tough guy too. He gets hit a lot. He keeps getting up, and it doesn't matter if he's limping between plays. When the ball snapped, he doesn't limp. He doesn't move around. He just tries to pick you apart. So we got a great challenge ahead. They played really well up until last week, so I'm sure they'll be ready.
He is a tough guy, and that's exactly the kind of guy that you want to recruit to New Mexico. I would put Isaiah Chavez in that category in terms of his toughness. I expect him to bounce back and be ready for you on Saturday.
No, I know our football team does too, and I have a feeling that he'll be there.
What about your defense and the pressure points, the way that you think you might be able to get Jake Haener off his spot? You were able to do it last year.
Well, we've got to confuse him up front, and we were able to do that last year. But you can never go in with the same game plan 2 years in a row because I promise you they'll be practicing that stuff. So we've got to come up with some different ideas. We've got to execute, and then we've got to be able to cover them in the secondary. We did okay last year in coverage against them. We gave up too many big plays. We're going to have to do a better job this year to have a chance.
And they got a kid named Rivers who's been around a long time.
Well, Ronnie Rivers was healthy last week. James Cropper, their receiver number 5, a very talented young man. They've got a few receivers that they can get open at any time, and they're all capable of making big plays. So we've got a great challenge ahead of us.
Well, the Lobos have another great opportunity, too, a chance to beat a team that's been in the top 25.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got 3 more left. We've got an opportunity in every game if we execute. We've got enough talent to be competitive. We've just got to keep the ball to ourselves when we have it and take it away on defense.
And get healthy.
Really, this time of year, that's who we're going to be, and I'm okay with that.
Lobos in Fresno State, 5 p.m. Mountain on Saturday. So long, everybody. Go Lobos.